What's good, YouTube? It's your boy. We're back with another video. Trying to start up my UFC picks again. So we're gonna call this the Raw picks, right? Because these are gonna be Raw picks. This Saturday, January 24th, we got UFC 324 going on, man. Justin Gaethje versus Paddy Pimblett for the UFC interim lightweight belt. And without further ado, let's get into it. So as I said, Saturday, January 24th, we got Paddy Pimblett, Justin Gaethje going at it. So let's go into my predictions. So I already made picks, but I'm gonna start doing them live when I do my predictions. This one I kind of like already made my predictions before I went in. So if we take a look at my picks, and we'll just go through all of them. Little breakdown of what I think will happen in the fight and who I ultimately picked to win. So one of the fights got scrapped. If you guys follow MMA, you know that Kayla Harrison got hurt. So her fight with Amanda Nunes got scrapped. That one should have been a banger. Should have been one of the best women mixed martial arts fights in history, honestly. So let's see. Starting off with these two lads right here. We got Ty Miller versus Adam Fugit. Seems like they're both doing debuts. Or no. Well, this guy's not debuting, Adam Fugit. I think I've seen him fight before. He lost his last fight 5 months ago. Seems like he's been in the UFC for a minute, actually. Lost to Michael Morales, who we know is a dog. Lost to Mike Malott, who knows a dog. He beat Josh Quinlan on split. And we got this guy who's making his debut. Won on the Contender Series 5 months ago. So I'm going to go with Ty Miller as well. I don't really pick a method or a round, but I think Ty Miller done. Honestly, I think he'll get a knockout. Next up, we got Ricky Tercios versus Cameron Smotherman. You know, oddly enough, both these guys are on a 2-loss skid right now. But I would say Cameron Smotherman's opponents are higher caliber, right? The 2 losses he had to Shuri Sadei and Ricky Simone versus Ricky Tercios, who's lost to Raul Rosas Jr. and Bernardo Sapage. Unanimous and finish from Raul, and then a unanimous decision. While Smotherman, well, he both lost. He lost both unanimous. I'm going with Cameron Smotherman on this one. I think he's more electric. You know, he's got more gas in the tank with him being 28, Ricky being 32. Oddly enough, I am doubting Ricky, even though he won tough, dude. He won the Ultimate Fighter, you know, some time ago. I think it was Ultimate Fighter 32. But he hasn't looked pretty good, man, in the last couple fights I've watched him. So I'm going to go ahead with Cameron Smotherman on this one. I think he gets it done. Uh, yeah, probably going to be a decision, but I don't know. I feel like he can put out a submission for some reason. But yeah, Cameron Smotherman. Next fight, we got some heavyweights. We got Josh Hockett versus Denzel Freeman. Haven't watched either of these guys. I think I saw Freeman's last fight because it was on a main card or maybe like a featured fight night. But as you can see, a lot of people are going Hockett on this one. He's 7-0, but I'm gonna go against the tide on this one. I'm gonna go Freeman on this one. I feel like Freeman. They're both honestly. I thought Freeman was a shorter heavyweight, but they're both 6'1", and Freeman's got more reach. He's got 77 inches of reach versus 73. I mean, heavyweight doesn't really matter. It's kind of who can hit first. But yeah, I got Freeman on this one. I don't know his background or anything, but you see, latest weight he was at 260. Josh Hockett was at 236. So if it does get to the ground or if it gets more physical, I assume Freeman will be using that weight and wearing him down and getting the finish. But with heavyweight span, it's probably going to be a KO. Might as well go KO Freeman. I don't know which round though. Next up, we got Michael Johnson versus Alex Hernandez. Dude, and honestly, Alex Hernandez has been hitting a stride. 4-fight win streak. I've watched his last couple of fights. His Chase Hooper fight was really good. He caught Chase Hooper, Diego Ferreira. Yeah, and then against Michael Johnson, who is a dog in his own caliber, but I feel like he's guarding the rankings at this point in his career. And I think Alex Hernandez is obviously the younger fighter, over 6 years of age gap. So Yeah, not too much on this one. I like both of these fighters personally, but I'm gonna go with Alex Hernandez. I think his career's getting a resurgence. He's got to get a 5-5 win streak. Next fight will probably be against a ranked opponent, depending on how he handles Johnson. I don't know. I don't know, but I'm gonna go with a submission for some reason. I don't know. I think the Alex Hernandez can get it done. Next up, we got Alex Perez versus Charles Johnson. Now, mind you, Charles Johnson, he has a win over the current champ of flyweight. He has that right uppercut knockout of Joshua Van. So I do think Charles Johnson is legit. However, Alex Perez does have hands. He's faced some tough opponents in the last two, right? Tetsuya Taira, who we saw, who may be getting a title shot soon. Asu Almabayev is really good as well. But I think Charles Johnson gets it done, and I think Alex Perez. I think he's on. He might be on the way out, man. He hasn't looked too good in his last couple of fights, although it has been a higher caliber of opponent. He's facing real tough guys in it, but this could be a bounce back for him. But personally, I'm gonna go with Johnson on this one, and I think it'll be a unanimous decision. Next up, we got Nikita Krylov versus Modestas Bukauskas. Bukauskas. Um, some big juggernauts at light heavyweight, right? 205ers, but they're weighing in over 230 at that night. These dudes are monsters, right? 6'3", long arms. We got 77.5 for Krylov and 76 for Modestas. They're pretty even, but I feel like the momentum of Modestas with a 4-fight win streak, with his opponents getting slightly better, is going to favor him. These guys are both in the top 15. And as we could see, it's almost 3 years since Krylov got his last win. So I think we're going to go with Modestas on this one. I think he's just riding a better streak, while Krylov hasn't, he hasn't gotten a win in almost 3 years. And that can, fighting. I feel like momentum is definitely a factor in fighting, but fighter's chance, man, it only takes one shot. But I'm gonna go with Modestas on this one. He looked really good in his last fight. He knocked out Paul Craig. It was a pretty good resurgence. Again, I don't know the method on this one. I don't know the round, but I think there will be a finish. Whatever. We'll say TKO. We'll say TKO for Bukauskas. Can't call it a round though. It's very hard to call a round. This one is probably the easiest fight on this card. Biggest favorite. This guy, Atiba Gautier. This dude's younger than me, and he is a freak of nature, dude. As you can see, 97% of people are picking him. Now, Pulayev, he's not a slouch. He actually looked really good in his last fight. Got a KO. But Atiba, he just looks different, man. And he just looks different. The thing about Pulayev, if he tries to stand with Atiba, it's not going to happen. His best bet will be trying to take Atiba down. But I don't see him doing that. This guy is a monster, dude. This will probably be one of the highlights of the night for sure. Let's go Atiba with the KO. Now for the prelims main fight. I don't know why they didn't promote this fight to main card, but this easily could have been the co-main, if not its own main event for a fight night. Umar Nurmagomedov versus Vincent Figueiredo. And it's kind of weird that they don't have Umar on the main card. Number 4 ranked versus number 9 ranked. This is like the featured prelim. It's crazy. But this is kind of a no-brainer. This is an even bigger favorite than the last fight we just saw with Atiba. And we're gonna ride that trend as well. I would like Figgy to get a win, but it's highly unlikely he gets a win against Umar. 8-year age difference in these guys. We saw in Figgy's last fight, well, his 2 fights ago against Corey Sandhagen, he popped his knee because he lost that 50-50 position, which showed he's not really technical on the ground, because that 50-50 position, if you're in jiu-jitsu, you have to go with that. You can't try to fight it. And what he did was try to fight it, and his knee looked like it got destroyed, but that was only 8 months ago. He fought 3 months ago, so good recovery, I guess. It wasn't too bad, but obviously he took that L against Sandhagen. But Umar, short of the Marab fight, which was, it was a unanimous decision, but it was like a 3-2. I personally had a 4-1 Marab, but I could see it being a 3-2, so a clear loss for him. But he bounced back against Mario Batista, unanimous, right? Dominate. I think Umar should, hunt for the finish right here against Figgy, but he's probably gonna play it to his game plan, man, and do what he's got to do to get that win. Um, the crazy thing about the Nurmagomedovs and Habib's team is that those dudes overtrain. So that's the slight chance I would give Figgy, is that if Umar comes overtrained and fatigues quick, Figgy should have a chance. But I think since Figgy's coming up in weight, he used to fight at 125, used to be the champ there. Him coming up to 135 it's a little bit tough, as we saw in his fight against Sandhagen. His fight against Piotr Jan. He did beat Chito Vera, so that was his first jump up to 135. He beat Chito, lost to Piotr, lost to Corey, beat Montel Jackson. So he's still fighting ranked guys. He's ranked himself. So, but I'm going Umar on this one for sure. Probably unanimous decision. Oops, yeah, unanimous decision, Umar. Next up, we got Arnold Allen versus John Silva. And honestly, I feel like the world has forgot about Arnold Allen, which is kind of crazy. But, just mind you, like 2 or 3 years ago, he was that guy. He was kind of shredding through 145. He was on a good streak. Beat up Dan Hooker, beat up Calvin Kattar. I believe he jumped up to 155 to fight Dan Hooker and actually still got that win. And then Calvin Kattar, and then he ran up against Max Holloway, and Max is a dog, bro. I that fight, Holloway versus Allen, I actually thought Allen had a really good chance, but I was happy he lost because I like Max, bless train. But it was a good fight against Max, and he went the distance. So he's fought tough opponents, high level opponents. This is a high level striker in Max. He's fought a high level grappler in Movzar. And he's coming off a win against Giga Chikadze. I'm happy for him. He took some time off, right, to regroup, get his wits back together, and lock in. So these guys are looking about the same height, 5'8" to 5'7", same reach. John Silva's coming off that loss against Diego Lopez, as we all saw, and it kind of, to me, it showed his inexperience. No, not his inexperience, but his fighting IQ. I don't think his fighting IQ was good in that fight, because he was getting Lopez, but he was expecting Lopez to have a weaker chin, which I thought was not a smart plan by John at all, and that's what caused John to lose, in my opinion. And hopefully he's learned from those mistakes, but if he hasn't, I see Arnold Allen going the distance, getting unanimous. Honestly, maybe 2-1. John might get around, but I think Arnold Allen might be back. It's been a minute since we've seen him, almost a year and a half, right? But I think Arnold Allen is he's taking the rest, healed up, feeling good. I think he gets the nod. Continuing with the main card, we got Natalia Silva versus Rose Namajunas. Rose has been streaky, man. She's been up and down. And her last win is Miranda Maverick, who I don't even know if is ranked right now, but Natalia is streaking right now, coming in at a heavy favorite. And she's actually jumping in this fight on maybe 2-3 weeks notice, because I believe Rose was supposed to fight Macy Barber, or was supposed to fight someone else. So, but yeah, we see that the stats are pretty identical, 5'4", 5'5", 65, 65 for the reach. I'm going to go with Natalia Silva, the younger fighter, and she's on a streak. She's on a hotter streak than Rose. However, Rose does have the experience. I do think Natalia gets it done. She beat Andrade, and she's coming off that win against Grasso 8 months ago. And Grasso is the former champ. So I'm gonna go with Natalia Silva on this one. Um, Definitely a decision. Yeah. Now here we go, the big boys of the main card. We got Cortez Acosta versus Derek Lewis, and the reason I'm picking Waldo Acosta on this one is because Derek Lewis said he's gonna knock him out in the first exchange. So that shows. I don't know if Derek Lewis is trying to trick him, but I think Derek Lewis is gonna try to finish this one quick. Waldo literally just has to stay at distance and pick his shot. Um, Funny enough, Derek Lewis has a longer reach. He's been saying he feels good, all that, but I mean, dude's touching 40. Waldo's 34, and we saw Waldo get a crazy win. He got his eye poked by the Ante Delete Gelia, whatever. That's Tom Aspinall's boy. 2 months ago, fought last month. He's about to fight again, or fought almost 2 months ago, and then about to fight again. So, dude's trying to stay active, man. He said he's trying to fight like 6 times this year. As you can see in his fights, he's had 5 fights in 2025, maybe even more if he had another one before this. But doing good. He lost to Sergey Pavlovich on a decision, but if you check his wins, we got a KO, we got a decision, win decision against Spivak, the loss against Pavlovich, the KO, and the KO. So Derek Lewis, as we know, is the knockout king of the UFC. I think I'm gonna have to go with Waldo, but at the same, I'm kind of conflicted on this one. I do want Derek Lewis to win, but that's what the heart says. But my mind is definitely on Waldo. I think he's striding a little bit more. You see, like the last 2 years, Derek Lewis has 2 fights. In the last year, Waldo has 5 fights. So he's feeling better. Not feeling better, but he's more in stride. He's more in reaching his prime, I guess. But it's heavyweight, man. It's so hard to pick in heavyweight. But we're gonna go Waldo Acosta with a KO, man. Heavyweights don't. These boys are not going the distance. That's for sure. There's definitely gonna be a KO, and I got Waldo. But if Derek wins, I won't be mad either. And now for the co-main event, got bumped up because Amanda Nunes and Kayla Harrison got canceled because Kayla injured her neck real bad. I believe she had some herniated disc, is what I was reading and saw online, and she had surgery. And so hopefully she comes back soon. We can get that Kayla Harrison versus Amanda Nunes fight for the belt, for arguably the woman GOAT of MMA. That'll be sick. That would have been so sick for this card, but we'll see what happens. Back to this card though, co-main we got Sean O'Malley versus Song Yadong, or Yadong Song. People usually say Song Yadong, but let's see. Sean O'Malley, he's the older fighter, coming off of 2 losses, as we know, to Marab and to Marab again because he got that rematch 7 months ago. So he hasn't had a win in almost 2 years. That Cheeto win. So Sean, he needs a win badly, right? And I think that's going to hurt him. He needs a win so badly that he may try to be overly aggressive more than he has to, and I think that's where Song can catch him. Unfortunately, Song Yadong doesn't have the reach, as it is at a disadvantage in both reach and height. But as we know, Sean is more of a slimmer, taller 135er. And I think the speed advantage, so this one's kind of hard because they're both strikers, but I think the speed advantage goes to Song Yadong, the shorter guy. I believe he gets it done. I don't think Sean O'Malley, I think his hype train's been derailed by Marab. Honestly, after the first Marab fight, I don't know why he got a rematch, but they gave him the rematch because he's got that Dana privilege. But after this one, yeah, he's going to have to work his way back up. This one should be an interesting fight, but I'll probably go Song decision. It's only a 3-rounder, so I think in a 5-rounder, Sean may look better. But I think in this, well, actually, I feel like a shorter one may actually help Sean. But like I said, I think he's going to be overly aggressive. I think Song Yadong is gonna take advantage of that, and I think he's just gonna point fight him. He's gonna get him on points, or he may even take him down and just hold him down. That'd be the path to victory. If you're fighting Sean O'Malley, his hands are good, his range is good, so you gotta bother him. You gotta kind of do what Marab did, you know. You can throw with him, but then you have to mix it up. So if Song mixes it up, he wins. If he doesn't, most likely will lose, probably by KO. But I think Song will mix it up. And in the main event, we got the interim lightweight title fight between Justin Gaethje and Paddy Pimblett. Unpopular opinion, I'm going with Gaethje, which may not happen because now that I'm looking at it, like this age gap. I thought the age gap was a little bit closer, but 37 to 31, 6 years. We got Paddy's, he's streaking right now, but personally, I think his title shot is illegitimate. I don't think he's earned the shot, but everyone else is kind of booked up. Arman Tsarukyan, he toiled his chances with the UFC, so he's going to be sitting for a while. But I think Arman's probably going to fight again, but it won't be for the belt just yet because, the politics that be. But I'm going to go Justin Gaethje KO. I think he KOs Paddy. I think Paddy, I watched some breakdowns on Paddy's style, and he leaves himself open when he kicks. He puts his hand down. So if Gaethje can touch that chin, I think the Scousers get knocked out in it. Even though Scousers don't get knocked, I think Paddy's getting knocked. But this one should be a good fight. I mean, if Paddy wins, cool. We're gonna see Ilya versus Paddy, but Paddy's competition, I don't think he's been fighting the best, right? Gaethje, amazing guy, but I think Gaethje is past his. I believe Gaethje is past his prime, man. 37, like he even said, this is his last run at the belt. He loses this one, he quits, or not quits, but he retires. He wins this one. He says he wants to fight Ilya. He wants to fight Charles and then Max or something like that. But I don't see it happening, man. I don't see Gaethje getting it done. I mean, I don't see Paddy getting it done. I don't see Gaethje fighting too much longer after this. He may have a couple more fights. But I think my mind says Paddy, right? Like all the signs are saying Paddy's a favorite. Cool, he's got the age advantage, reach. He's allegedly a better grappler, but Justin Gaethje was a collegiate wrestler. And we know Justin Gaethje's hands are explosive, like dynamite. He's nicknamed Highlight for a reason. So I'm gonna go with Gaethje. I think he touches that chin. He touches that chin within the first 3 rounds. I think it's bad for Pimblett. Pimblett's best bet is to drown Gaethje, but I think his takedown defense will be on point, and Gaethje will find a way to touch his chin, man. Once you touch that chin, it's lights out. So we got Justin Gaethje winning it, man. And that's my picks for UFC 324. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you guys got different picks or you got someone else winning or whatever. But yeah, let me know. Stay tuned. And I'm going to start doing this year. I'm going to try to cover as many UFC events as I can. I'm going to do picks. And then, like, say for next week when UFC 325 happens, I'm going to go over my picks for 324, small recap, see how well I did, comment on any cool things that happened, and then get to the next event. So we'll recap on that event, go to the next event, and we'll try to keep that flow and keep it nice and going. We'll see how consistent I can be. Hopefully I stay on it and get every event in. That's the goal. And we'll just have to find out what happens, guys. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. Appreciate you guys. Peace.